If you want to melt that belly fat but don't have time for proper diet plans or intensive workouts, then this video is just for you. As in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 proven ways that are just amazing for fat loss. So without any further delay, let's get started. Hello friends, welcome to FitTuber. Extra fat on the body not only looks bad but is also an invitation to problems like fatty liver, type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. So let's talk about 5 simple and smart ways for fat loss. Starting with number 5 on the list is add an acid. Only if you add an acid along with your meals, your chances of cutting extra body fat increases by 40%. How? See, whenever we eat food, our body converts it into glucose. Simplistically putting, more the glucose in the blood, more will be body fat. Now, if we reduce this glucose spike, body fat will automatically come down. And an acid does that effectively. Studies have shown that 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted with a tall glass of water, if consumed before a meal, reduces the glucose spike by almost 34%. In an interesting study, 2 groups were given the same pasta to eat. One group consumed vinegar and then ate the pasta, while the other group directly ate it. And the results are clear from this graph. People who consumed vinegar had a much lower glucose spike, whereas the other group's glucose spike reached the red zone. The same experiment was done with other foods like bread and chips, and in each case the results were strikingly similar. However, it's neither practical nor advisable to drink vinegar before each meal. Studies show that even if you drink a glass of vinegar water just once a day, let's say before breakfast, the acetic acid in the vinegar will slow down the absorption of the carbohydrates. This works for other acids like citric acid and lactic acid as well. Which is why if you consume a glass of lemon water before a meal or even squeeze juice from a lemon on your meal, the citric acid will not only reduce the glycemic load of the meal by almost 40%, but the same meal will keep your stomach full for longer. This was explicitly mentioned in the conclusion of the study. Similarly, lactic acid from curd, buttermilk and other fermented foods is a good addition if you want to lose body fat faster. A study in Japan showed that homemade pickles along with a meal also have a similar effect. So make use of an acid and burn that fat 40% faster. For example, when you know that you have to go to wedding tonight or a late night dinner, before leaving home you can have apple cider vinegar diluted in a tall glass of water. Following just this simple hack, you will put on less body fat from that same meal outside. At number 4 is get the order right. You might be surprised to know that by just changing the order in which you eat your food, it has a significant effect whether you will put on weight or lose body fat. In 2015, a study was conducted on diabetic patients to check if the order in which they eat the same meal had any effect on their blood sugar levels. And the results were surprising. One group was given bread first, then chicken and finally salad at the last. The other group was given salad first, then chicken and finally the bread. And what they saw was that there was a huge difference in the glucose spike, almost by 75%, even though the 2 meals were exactly the same. The only difference was of the order in which they were eaten. The red line is for the one who ate salad last, while blue line is for the ones who ate salad first. In another study, one group ate rice first, then tofu and then broccoli. Another group ate broccoli first, then tofu and then rice. Compare the glucose spikes. It's amazing how by just changing the order of the same meal, you can increase the chances of losing fat by more than 50%. But how does this happen? I mean, after all, everything that we are eating is going into the stomach. But what scientists have found is that when we start our meal with a plate full of vegetables, the fiber in veggies coats your intestines, creating a sort of protective mesh, a kind of shield on the walls of the intestines, and that shield slows down the speed at which the rest of the meal will be absorbed in your bloodstreams, and you will get constant energy for a longer period of time. This keeps you full for longer and prevents unhealthy food cravings. So a simple rule, if you want to melt that fat faster, eat whatever you are eating, just start your meal with salad. a plate of carrots, cucumber, or whatever you feel like having. First eat the salad and then start eating roti, sabzi, rice, dal, whatever it is. Just a simple thing, and the speed at which your body reduces fat will increase by 75%. Talking about food order, studies clearly pointed out that the best time to eat a dessert is after a full meal and not before. This keeps sugar levels stabilized. No wonder this is our traditional way as well. Number 3. Move after eating. In 2016, there was a study done on diabetic patients. One group of patients was suggested to walk for 30 minutes any time of the day, while the other group was asked to walk lightly for just 10 minutes but after the meals. And guess what? The study concluded that 10-minute light walk after a meal is superior to 30-minute walk at any other time. That's because when we eat, our body converts food into glucose. And if at that time we move our muscles, that glucose will be readily used by the cells. Now you need not do any rigorous exercise. In fact, rigorous exercise just after a meal is rather bad for you. Just do simple things. Walk around, you can do the dishes or clean your room. Compare the glucose spikes when in one case rice bowl was eaten and in the other case after eating rice bowl 10-minute walking was done. It is as simple as that. Interestingly, modern studies say that if one activates calf muscles after eating, metabolism increases and blood sugar is utilized faster. Guess what? Ayurveda said this thousands of years ago that one should sit in Vajrasana for 10 minutes just after eating a meal. Of course, it's not always practical to sit in Vajrasana everywhere, so basically move your body lightly for just 10 minutes within 1 hour of eating a meal and you will be surprised with the results. At number 2 is don't eat naked carbs. Look at this graph. How your body reacts when you eat carbs versus when you eat protein and fats. The sugar spike is lowest in fats and highest in carbs. And remember, more the glucose spike, more fat your body will store. This is the reason when we cut down our carbohydrate intake, we automatically begin to lose weight. A recent study confirms, want to lose weight? Limit carbs and add more nutrients to your diet. But what are carbs? See, all grains like wheat, rice, oats, millets are carbohydrates. All fruits, desserts and other sugary foods are also carbohydrates. So does that mean we should stop eating these? Not at all. Rather, just avoid eating naked carbs. What I mean by that is don't eat carbs alone. Carbohydrates are made up of glucose molecules. And studies show that when we eat something which is mostly carbs, the glucose spike is much higher as compared to when it is combined with other macronutrients like protein, fats and fiber. This makes sense why it is always recommended to eat whole grains over refined grains like maida. Because maida is nothing but wheat which was stripped of its fiber, now it is mostly carbs. On the other hand, whole wheat has carbs but with fiber intact. Compare the sugar spikes here. In first case, people eat a whole apple. In the second case, people drink apple juice. This is the difference fiber makes. So a simple hack to speed up your fat loss is to add bran into your atta which you use to make roti. Let's take another example. Suppose you feel hungry and you choose to eat biscuits. Biscuits, being made of grains and sugar, are a prime source of carbohydrates. One option is to eat biscuits alone. Second option is to have some cashews along with biscuits. In second case, your carbs will be covered up with healthy fats and protein from the cashews, reducing the glucose spike. Studies have shown that if we combine protein or fats along with a carb-rich meal, the chances of putting on body fat reduce by a huge 80%. In a study, when one group of people were given only bread to eat while the other group was given bread plus peanut butter applied on it, even though the calories were more in the second group, but still the second group lost more weight than the first group. Ayurveda says add a teaspoon of ghee over your curry and it will help you cut extra body fat. Last but certainly not the least, at number 1 is don't compromise on your sleep. This one is the easiest and most satisfying. We all know that sleep is important, but you will be amazed how major impact it has on fat loss. When you compromise on your sleep, two things happen. First, there is a hormonal change. In 2008, a major study concluded that when we deprive ourselves of sleep, the leptin hormone decreases and ghrelin hormone increases. Now note that leptin is the satiety hormone which when produced signals the brain that you are satisfied with the food and you are no longer hungry. Ghrelin on the other hand does the opposite. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone which when produced you feel hungry. Now the study said that when people compromise on their sleep quality, the satiety hormone decreased by 18% while the hunger hormone increased by 28%. Basically, you get punished twice when you don't sleep well. It was observed that people who didn't sleep well ate 300 to 400 calories extra in each sitting. So just compromising on sleep, overeating automatically increases. Then second thing happens. It's not just the overeating but what foods you crave for when you are underslept. And that's a big problem. Scientists discovered that when people were underslept, they felt a craving for starchy and sugary foods. People were put under MRI scanner and were shown images of both healthy and unhealthy foods. They were asked what they would like to eat. Their brain reward centers lighted up most for foods like pizza, chocolate, ice cream and things like that. It was seen that when you are sleep deprived, you lose a control of your brain and uncontrollably indulge in junk food cravings. Not surprisingly, 28 studies evaluated that people who work in night shifts are at a 35% more risk of getting obese. So prefer day shifts and never compromise on your sleep. This can be a game changer. So in a nutshell, before breakfast you can have a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted in a tall glass of water. Before starting your lunch or dinner, make sure that you eat a plate of salad. Curd can be added in lunch, lemon juice can be sprinkled in dinner. During snack time, try to eat something which has fiber, protein and fats and not just carbs. Prefer whole foods over refined foods. After every meal, walk or lightly move for 10 minutes. Sleep at regular times and sleep well. Just simple things done smartly can boost the rate at which you lose fat without altering your diet too much. Now the Indian market is full of benzene-based chemical sunscreens. Of course they work, but studies show that they have long-term side effects. So you should always prefer a mineral-based sunscreen. And that's why Mamaearth's mineral-based sunscreen for babies is a good option. It is a zinc oxide-based sunscreen and it has natural goodness of aloe vera, shea butter, cocoa butter and 5 other essential oils. SPF 20, this sunscreen is suitable for all skin types. Still, a patch test is recommended. It's non-greasy and water resistant. 100 gram pack will cost you Rs 299. Apply 21% special discount coupon and you will get it for 236 rupees. Now that's a competitive price. So protect your skin naturally and buy Mamaearth's this mineral-based sunscreen. The link is in the description box. Now there are 5 foods that are proven to melt fat. To know them, check out this video. My name is Vivek. I thank you so much for watching.